Hello, I'm Professor James Erickson, and welcome to MUS 135, Rock Music Mirror of Change. So I just want to introduce this course, talk a little bit about how we're going to proceed during the semester. So the first thing is, what is this course all about? Well, it's essentially going to be the history of rock music, but we're going to be using the term rock music in a very, very broad sense. It's going to encompass a lot of different musical styles, some styles and some artists that on the surface you might not think of being associated with rock and roll. So we're going to be using it in a very, very broad context. And it's going to essentially be a history of popular music, American popular music, from about the mid-1950s to our timeline probably takes us into the early to mid-90s. That being said, we're going to talk about the birth of rock and roll, whenever that is. And as you'll see, there's a little debate as to when the actual birth of rock and roll is. We're going to kind of decide on a timeline and a starting date, almost more just for having a historical marker to designate what came after rock and roll and what preceded rock and roll. So with this class, one of my objectives is for us to sort of think about how we listen to music and maybe how in some ways we're not listening to music. And what do I mean by that? One of the things I would like to do is teach you how to listen to music. And you might think, well, that's a very bold statement to make. You're thinking, I listen to music all the time. How can you teach me how to listen to music? Well, I would argue that sometimes we might be hearing music, but are we actively listening? And there is a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing something is much easier than listening. So for example, if I just did a little sound here, I have a little sound effect. So you can hear that sound effect, but it didn't take a lot of work. It's sort of an involuntary physical ability to actually hear something. No conscious effort is really required to hear that little bicycle horn that I just played. So hearing happens all the time, and sometimes there's really no perception of what we're hearing. On the other hand, listening is really when we make the effort to pay attention to what we're hearing. Hearing is passive, listening is more active, and that's what we're trying to do here. I'm going to try to give you guys some of the tools to maybe listen a little bit deeper to the music that we're going to discuss during the course, and even into the music that you guys are listening to already and music that you like. So I hope everyone has filled out the class discussion, the first topic on the class discussion board, a little bit about the kind of music you like, your experience with concerts and live music, and just kind of introduce yourself in that discussion board. And that's going to be a very important part of the course, where I'm going to be posting topics throughout the semester that I just want you guys to either watch a video and react to, read an article or react to, and it's going to kind of be the hub of our sort of classroom discussions and assignments. So I'm really looking forward to getting started with you guys and looking forward to our journey together through this history of rock and roll. If you have any questions, you can message me through Blackboard. You can email me through my NCC email. And I'm looking forward to getting started and having a successful semester. See you soon. Thanks.